What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. It's time to recap the season 7 reunion for Teen Mom OG, which Kate actually managed to leave rehab to shoot. So the episode starts off with her sitting on the couch crying about the thought of traumatizing her daughter Nova the same way she was traumatized by her parents, and I do think that is a very valid concern, and I do think that she is definitely potentially traumatizing her daughter with all of this coming and going. She announces that her traumas are her mom being an alcoholic and her dad moving away to be with another woman and putting Carly up for adoption as well. And I love that Dr. Drew called her out for all of the pot smoking that was doing nothing but harming her in this recovery process, and Kate claimed that she quit smoking weed, but I don't think that she did personally. And she also alluded to the fact that Tyler probably still does smoke weed as well. And honestly, you guys, I hate to compare, but like her situation versus Kale's is pretty night and day. And I hate how whenever we call people like Kate or Amber lazy, people go, they're not lazy, they're just depressed, when there's so many people in this world suffering from depression and other things who get up and go every day because they have no choice but to. Like, I don't think depression or anything like that automatically makes you lazy. I don't think every depressed person is lazy. I think some people are just both lazy and depressed. Like, looking at her versus Kale, you can really see the difference in night and day. Like, Kale went and pursued her education. She always kept a job. She still got all of these multiple side hustles alone as well. Like, she may be a complete idiot when it comes to relationships and having all these kids by all of these different men, but I wouldn't exactly call her a non-hard worker, especially when you compare her to like all of her lazy ass counterparts. And she did also have like pretty much the same issues, adoption aside. She had 2 absentee parents instead of one alcoholic being her mom as well, but she practically raised herself, and here she is still going to school. She was working. She's got all of these different side hustles as well. She's always on the go somewhere, and she's always around for her kids as well. I don't fault Kate for ever going away to rehab. I think that sometimes that is absolutely necessary, but the whole running back each time instead of working on things outside of your home near your daughter, that I have an issue with, and I don't think that Kale would have ever done that. I think that Kale probably would have run away the first time, and I don't want to say run away like, oh, like haphazardly. She probably would have went away the first time, but I do think that she would have worked on things being closer to her kids like the next few times as well. Anyway, moving right along, Amber only joined into the reunion via video chat, and I wonder why. It was never really explained. Dr. Drew then claims that Amber was a good mom to avoid seeing Leah while she was on drugs and going through an abusive relationship and all of that stuff, and he also claimed that she was putting Leah first in doing that. I was pretty disappointed, but of course not surprised by that, because let's be honest, Amber was not seeing Leah for Leah. She was not seeing Leah for Amber because she wants to sleep all day and just be around. Like, I'm sure she was just tired and wanted to sleep all day, tired of doing nothing kind of thing. It wasn't like, oh, Leah can't see me like this. Come on, how dumb do you think we are? And of course, another disappointing part about Dr. Drew's interaction with Amber was that he never ever critiqued her for getting pregnant within just 8 short weeks to a literal stranger after claiming to come from an abusive relationship. They also, like, throughout the season and in this reunion, never brought up the fact that Andrew also has an abusive history with women. So was it really smart to get pregnant by him immediately, especially after you're coming out of another abusive relationship? I can't believe that was not covered, because it's only going to get worse from here, especially when the baby is born and all of that stuff. And also the whole joking around about the fact she wasn't on birth control. Not only was your dumbass not on birth control, you were also raw dogging the stranger. Let's talk about the STDs these people probably have, because this seems to be a national pastime for them. Next up on stage is Ryan, and we learned that he still hasn't submitted to a drug test, and it's literally been over 7 months at this point, okay? He claims that he's been texting Macy that he would do the P test, just not the follicle one. And it's just weird. I just don't get it. Why not just like document yourself doing it and then give her the evidence then? Like, if it's really something that you want to do and you're confident you can pass. Like, he just kept giving all these flimsy ass excuses that Drew was doing a really good job of poking through, and each time he would just be like, well, I guess that's the way it is then. I don't know then. He really sucked at lying. Like, really sucked. So going back to the whole, oh, I can't do a follicle test because it's too soon. It takes longer to get out of your hair than out of your pee or whatever. Dr. Drew Drew was like, well, it's been long enough. You can definitely pass a hair follicle test now if you're actually sober. And Ryan was like, well, we haven't really talked about it lately. What do you mean? Like, you should not be waiting for her to contact you if you're really dying to see your own freaking son. Are you kidding me? You would be doing whatever it takes, calling her ass up about doing this follicle test. Like, you literally admit that this doesn't get brought up unless Macy brings it up. So what is your argument at the end of the day about like her not letting you see Bentley? It's very clear that it's not a priority for you whatsoever, and that you're not confident about your own sobriety. He might as well have just shut up on the stage right then and there, because it was very obvious that this man is still allegedly on heroin. He later then claims that he had to get through a drug test in order to complete all the stuff, you know, that had to do with getting his arrest kind of handled in order to see Bentley, all that weird like BS. And so Dr. Drew's like, well, then why don't you take those official results and give them to Macy? And this dumbass literally goes, well, I don't know. Dude, just admit you don't care to see Bentley and you're still doing drugs and go. Like, it's just so embarrassing watching you up on stage acting a freaking fool and all of your lies being exposed so damn easily. Like, if all of this were true, we would have had like 10,000 samples from you. Like, if this were me in this case, I would have peed 10,000 times, taken photos of all of it. I'd be bald on the back of my head, something to show that I've legitimately been trying, and this guy has literally nothing. Everything is, oh, I don't know, I guess I can do that. Or, well, she hasn't reached out to me in a while. Dude, it's your son. And to top it off, you're in a friggin' reality show. If you really wanted to drag Macy, your ass could have been shooting scenes of you doing this. I'd have been like, all right, MTV, get over here, unzip my damn pants and pee in the cup, hand it in, and then record myself getting the friggin' results as well. Like, she could not deny it if you legitimately go and do it, which you did have the option to do, which of course you can't, and we all know why. Something actually interesting that came out of Ryan's scenes was that he admitted that he was getting his pills prescribed to him, legally prescribed to him by doctors. And it turns out that these doctors were running some sort of pill mills, and they're all now in jail, if Ryan is to be believed. But is he really a credible source? I don't know about that. He also claims that he can't find a drug counselor, another big bullshit lie, because he's on the show. Really, dude, all the famous ass people with drug problems still managing to find drug counselors, but somehow you on like a D-list reality show can't? Really? Dr. Drew's like, well, why don't you just go without filming for the show? Like, they can't deny you like that. What are you talking about? He's like, oh, yeah, I guess I could. Then do it. Then do it, motherfucker. Do it. Like, what is wrong with this guy? I just don't understand. He obviously does not want to. And a drug counselor would know he's high, so he doesn't want to go see one. That's exactly what is going on. Now it's the Black Widow's turn to talk, and she complains that their wedding episode was quote unquote inaccurate and awful because like everyone else got all these fairy tales and theirs looked like just this big ass mess. But listen, chick, okay, this is what we saw from your wedding episode. And it's the same for everyone else's wedding episodes, with the exception of Chelsea, who doesn't want to film but still wants to be on a reality show. But that's none of my business. This is what we saw from your wedding. We saw the whole preparal of the vows thing, which is a major moment. Your husband just so happened to say that he didn't care to create vows for you. And he also said that he doesn't think he can promise you forever. That's not our fault. That was a major moment that should be caught. And it was caught. It just, you know, it was Ryan's fault that he made it awful. And so we also saw you guys up there on the altar, which is another beautiful moment, or at least it should have been. And your man was just over there chewing on like one of those tobacco thingies or whatever it is that he does, a dip or whatever, and bullshitting his little vows, laughing at the idea of being faithful, giving you these creepy like Chester the you know what eyes. That was uncomfortable. We saw your first dance. That was uncomfortable because he kept talking about money and saying that he was over it like 30 seconds into the song. We saw you guys cut the cake. That was awkward because he was asking you about money the entire time as well. Like, we saw all of these major moments that should have been beautiful, but just weren't shown as beautiful because they weren't in reality. Like, just looking at this guy, it's so obvious he's not into you, and that you lack complete and utter chemistry. So I don't know how you can blame MTV for that. It's not like they only showed one little clip. Like, I feel like they threw her a bone trying to show all these different aspects of the wedding. This episode of the reunion wraps up when Dr. Drew says that they're going to be sharing a stage with Macy and her husband, Taylor McKinney. And Ryan has a full-blown meltdown claiming that he doesn't want to be on stage because Macy's going to lie. I mean, if you Liars are so easy to expose, especially when you claim to have receipts, which Ryan conveniently only has in an old phone. Dude, have you never heard of the cloud? Come on. Come the F on. And especially considering you're claiming to be lawyering up against this woman, I'm sure if it were true, you would have all of the screenshots and stuff with your lawyer in a USB something. And of course, conveniently, you have nothing and you refuse to be on stage with her while she lies. Come on, to me, only a liar runs from sharing the stage and being put on blast. And I 100% wholeheartedly believe that Macy was ready to tear into all of his lies and show the real receipts. She actually said off camera, but still mic'd up, that the reason a lot of people believe Ryan when he says that she doesn't respond is because he deletes her half of the text messages in his phone, which you absolutely can do. All of us trifling Tammys know that. You guys, that is the first part of the season 7 Teen Mom OG reunion. And of course, I'm more excited to hear what you have to say about everything. So please make sure to leave all of your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. And as usual, we'll chat. You can also like this video, subscribe for more. Feel free to share it with your friends as well. And follow me across social media where I absolutely love chatting with you. That's all for now. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.